gavel is missing. I'd like to call the September meeting of the Rockland Community College Board of Trustees to order. The time is 7:01. Mr. Secretary, will you call the roll?
Mr. Chairman, Chairman Martin Wartendijk.
Here.
Trustee Mary Lou Dillon.
Here.
Trustee Joan Valentine. Trustee Marilyn Dykstra. Trustee Eliana Eckert. Trustee Susan Oker Ramos.
Here.
Trustee Joseph Rand.
Here.
Trustee Mendel Todd.
Here.
Trustee Richard Hoyt.
Here.
Trustee Fatima Farouk. Mr. Chairman, we have 4.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. We have two people that like to address the board tonight, Bill Baker and Andrew Dale. But before we get to the public comments section of the meeting, I'd like to follow up on the information that was presented to the board during the public comments section of the August meeting. Dr. Basson and the board feel that the information that was presented at that time does warrant review, and we take the information and questions that were presented seriously. Dr. Basson and I have asked Bob Janasak, chair of the Rockland SCORE, to look into the claims that were made at that time. Rockland SCORE is connected with the U.S. Small Business Administration and provides advice and mentoring from current and retired business owners, executives, and managers to entrepreneurs and small business owners. Because many of the claims were made at the August meeting surround the handling of the lease of the automotive technology facility and the business components related to the administration of the center, we felt that Mr. Janasak, in his capacity as chair of Rockland SCORE, was well qualified to look into this matter, and Mr. Janasak has agreed to do so. He has also enlisted the assistance of another Rockland SCORE member who is a certified public accountant. With that, I will ask if there is public comment from this. I know there's 2 public comments, but one regarding this. Please be reminded that by board resolution 2014, speakers are asked to hold their remarks to 3 minutes. And if they would like to have their remarks entered into the minutes, they must provide their comments in writing to the secretary of the board. Okay. First is Bill Baker. Thank you.
Good evening. On behalf of the Rockland Community College Federation of Teachers, I'd like to officially welcome Dr. Baston to the campus and look forward to a very collegial and collaborative relationship. We've already started that, and it's very refreshing. And I'd like to keep you posted in terms of our union functions and receipts and things. When I took over just about 2 years ago, we were in arrears with dues of over $85,000 and had several $100,000 that were magically gone. As of tomorrow, with the dues deduction that will be collected on the next paycheck, we have approximately $400,000 in our treasury. All our bills are paid. We try very hard to be productive and to give back to the college. And so last year, working with Dr. Deere and Dana and Tammy Richardson and other individuals, we created holiday gift boxes, food for our students for the Christmas holidays. But having a conversation with Dana and with Tammy Richardson, they thought it would better be served if we did this for Thanksgiving. So we're going to do the same thing this year. We spent almost $30,000 for food next year for the holidays, and we plan on getting as many food boxes for Thanksgiving as are needed on campus. So we're going to put that into effect. I created an account for the association for emergency funds for students who are between TAP and other scholarships and they have no money for books and supplies, so they can draw on up to $400 for books and supplies until they get their tuition assistance coming in. And Deborah Bourbidi is overseeing that for me, and when she pays out, we sign off on it and we have the backup and paperwork. We also created a fund in the association for our summer student Shakespeare program. We funded that with $10,000 because that program is not supported by the college at all. It's based on donations, so we decided to give them a jump start. So they had that money in, and they didn't use it all this past summer, so it'll roll over, and we'll keep on adding to it as needed. And I had a conversation with Elaine Padilla and Lynn Aaron and Seatle, And because funding is tight on campus this year, and we were not able to initiate the the New York University Association with Seal for summer projects and scholarships for our faculty, the RCFT will fund $4,000 for that this year, and whatever else Seal needs, we'll work with them to make sure that they're able to continue providing faculty development for our students. So between the various charitable fees that we've done, we spent about $45,000 to $50,000 last year for students, and this year we're going to add faculty to that in terms of the Seal Development Center. So we're trying. We still have not tapped into any monies for other issues, so it's growing. I welcome Dana and I welcome Sue and anyone else if they have suggestions for increasing the improvement of the lives of our students and our student representative, just let me know. We're also going to, by the way, continue the food voucher program. I know Tammy Richardson last year, I think received roughly $1,000 in donations. The RCFT, $1,500, the RCFT doubled that. And so with that, almost $4,000, we were able to purchase 666 vouchers for meals. We're going to continue that this year, and the RCFT will also, whatever is made through fundraising, we will also match that amount. So we try to plan and keep that going. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Andrew Dale.
Hello, my name is Andrew Dale, Suffolk, New York. I was simply just going to ask, and Mr. Bortendijk, thank you very much for even just putting that out there, because that kind of stole all the questions I had, complete thunder loss there. So I was just going to basically ask, listen, it was a month since we last spoke, if you can, if there would be some sort of, if you could just provide a little update, and I think all the questions have been answered. So I do very much appreciate that, and it's also very much appreciated that when you do come in front of a board that, you have people that listen. And I actually had the opportunity to speak to a couple of people on the board, and it was actually very nice that, and I think maybe the word nice isn't even the right word. It's refreshing when you can actually speak and have a dialogue and actually, go back and forth and be heard. And like I said, I do appreciate that very much. And this is not something that we can't figure out. So once again, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, Mr. Bortendijk, for giving the update, and thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing
And
it.
thank you, Mr. Dale. And Mr. Dale, we do take your remarks seriously, so we will be following them.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, the consent agenda. I will now read the items that are on the consent agenda for this evening. All of these items have been discussed with the Board of Trustees, who have reviewed each of the resolutions. We are going to remove one of the resolutions from the consent agenda and vote on it separately because one of the resolutions relates to one of our trustees, and she would not be able to vote on the package as a whole. So resolution number 4 on your agenda, resolution number 37, 2017, will be voted on separately. I'm going to read the other resolutions and items. Item number 1 is the approval of the previous meeting minutes dated 8/31/2017. Number 2 is the approval of the 2018-2019 academic calendar. This is resolution 35, 2017. The third item is the approval of the audit firm bid contract number RFQ FA 01-17. This is resolution 36, 2017. Number 4 will be voted on separately. Number 5, rescinding resolution 30, 2017, which was the approval to enter into a lease agreement for the establishment of the Rockland Community College Innovation Center. This is Resolution 38, 2017. Is there any discussion? Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Susan? Second. Ms. Dillon? Okay, any discussion, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we're going to vote separately on what was item number 4, and this is a resolution, which is the approval to nominate Mary Lou Dillon for the 2017 NYSET Donald McWhinney Award for Trustee Leadership. This is Resolution 37, 2017. Can I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Susan and Mendel. Okay, any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Mary Lou is abstaining? Okay. Motion carries. Thank you and congratulations.
Yes.
Can I just say, I have a soon-to-be 97-year-old mother. She's going to be very happy. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Mr. Chairman, do you need me to read the resolution?
Yes, would
correctly?
you read the resolution?
Date, September 21st, 2017, to the Board of Trustees from Dr. Michael A. Baston, President. Approval of nominate Mary Lou Dillon for the 2017 NYSET Donald McWhinney. Thank you with that. Award for Trustee Leadership. Whereas New York Community College Trustees NYSET Association has established a NYSET Donald McWhinney Award for Trustee Leadership, and whereas Mary Lou Dillon has served as Rockland Community College trustee since 2008, including 3 terms as board secretary from 2010 to 2016, and 1 term as board vice chair from 2016 to present. And whereas during that time, she has provided robust leadership and tapped her extensive experience in the field of education to make RCC a better place for students and a respected institution within the community. And whereas Ms. Dillon is a lifelong resident of Rockland County, taught at North Rockland High School for 32 years, and has served the community as a board member for the Habitat of Humanity of Rockland County, a rape crisis counselor for Rockland Family Shelter, and a Leighton instructor and Eucharistic minister at St. Anne's Church in Nyack, New York. Therefore, be it resolved that Rockland Community College Board of Trustees nominate Mary Lou Dillon for the 2017 NYSET Donald McWhinney Award for Trustee Leadership.
Move.
Congratulations.
Okay. Academic Affairs Provost and Executive Vice President, Dr. Deere.
You have a copy of my written report, and I just would like to address the resolution approved by the board regarding the 2018-19 academic calendar. The calendar does reflect what is called an academic calendar and follows national holiday observance. It has been supported by the Faculty Senate, the Student Government Association, the Administrative Staff Association, and a calendar committee that was formed almost 2 years ago that represents all areas of the college. It is felt that the New York State law, Article 5, Section 224A, provides a necessary opportunity for religious observance by our students by stating that any student in an institution of higher education who is unable, because of his or her religious beliefs, to attend classes on particular days or days because of such absence on that particular day or days be excused from any examination or any study of work requirements, and that the faculty is actually required to help that student make up those classes. So I just wanted to explain that this is a very supported calendar. It reflects the Carnegie Hour to get us 15 weeks in as required by middle states, and it also respects the collective bargaining unit of the full-time faculty starting September 1st. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Deere. Student Services, Vice President, Ms. Dana Stilley.
Good evening. You have my written report. I would like to share with you this evening that we are in the process of concluding our experiment with the Center for the Analysis of Post-Secondary Readiness that we've been involved in for the last 3 years. If you recall, this was to help us determine the effectiveness of alternative methods in trying to ascertain whether or not students were college ready. So we were involved in also including their high school GPA, their English and math scores in certain high school level courses, as well as SAT scores. So the early results of this experiment show us that 79% of the students who went through the process using the logarithm were placed into college level English versus 60% of those who did not. What that really means to us is that more students automatically went into college level English, which helped them to move forward in moving toward their degree. The really good news is that the success rates, if you were in the first cohort or the second, are exactly the same at approximately 83%. So this is new data that we received today. We will be talking to the Faculty Senate and the other shared governance organizations as we move forward and try to determine how the college will alter our process for the long term. So look forward to hearing from us in that regard. Any questions?
No questions? Thank you, Ms. Dillon. Finance and Administration, Senior Vice President, Dr. Nair Hussain.
So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I know the housing issue, the student housing issue has been moving very slowly, even slower than a turtle. But there is some good news. You may recall that during the summer, we worked with the county executive and we worked with the legislature to change the local law that would allow the county to lease the land on which the housing will be built for a period of 50 years with option to renew for another 50. That law has now gone through all the processes of public hearing, public comment, and staying with the state for 45 days. And I believe the next step is for Mr. Brian Quinn to draft a letter that will allow us to lease the land with the signature from the county executive. So I think that's a positive move, being one step closer to getting the financing finalized. If you have any questions, I'm available to answer.
Another piece of the puzzle. Thank you, Dr. Hussain. Is Elizabeth Kendall here? Do you want to say a few words about the resource development?
Sure.
And at the same time, you can talk about the foundational.
Okay. So to piggyback off of the housing issue, I had met recently with the coordinator of our Connection Center, and what they're finding is that about 2 to 3 students a week are coming to them about housing insecurities. And so we have a real problem issue with students, our students being homeless or not having a stable housing situation. So we are looking at different possibilities, not to just put a Band-Aid on the students' situation, but some long-term strategies for students. And I'm glad to hear that there is student housing coming along, because that really is an issue that we're being presented for. And if, Joe had asked me, Joe, the coordinator, had asked me to see if there were any foundation resources for students, but we're talking about $500 a week, and that still puts the students out homeless after a week. So we're looking at a more sustainable model. And so that's something that, I would welcome anyone's suggestions on how we approach that. We're going to a conference in a couple weeks on housing and food insecurities to see if there are some real solutions to it. But I'm glad to hear that student housing is hopefully coming because if students get financial aid for it, you have students that are, that have housing. The other thing I'd like to report is our grant with the U.S. Department of Education, Campus, C Campus, so childcare access means parents in school. So that'll provide subsidies for our student parents to remain in their classes while their child is being provided quality childcare services. The report on the foundation, I have nothing new to highlight beyond we are looking at potentially redefining scholarship opportunities, and we'll be forming a subcommittee within the foundation board to review some of the smaller scholarships that we have for students that really may or may not have actual impact on their success at RCC. So those are my highlights.
Any questions? Thank you, Elizabeth. Board Secretary report?
I'll give my report already, where you like to know.
Okay, thank you. NICET report.
NICET will be having its autumn meeting under a new format. It's in mid-October, I don't remember the exact date. Everyone here is welcome to attend if you care to. There's a special session for student trustees. I've been going for a long time. You always learn something. I would heartily encourage you to come to Syracuse in October. That's it.
Okay, any questions? Student government.
So today was the first official student government meeting. We also had our student government and student activities board barbecue where we raised money for Hurricane Harvey by pieing professors in the face. We also had our open house and club fest, which were very successful. We had really good turnouts. End of report.
Okay, any questions? Thank you. Okay, old or new business. Is there any old or new business that needs to be discussed? If not, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Boyd, second.
Second.
Mr. Todd. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming.